There is a tin of infant formula on a supermarket shelf in suburban Ohio. It costs $35. Right now, an algorithm is watching it. That same tin carries a shadow value of $95 to $110 the moment it crosses into the Chinese gray market, a profit margin of over 200%, baked into the price of your child's breakfast. The shelf is not a store. It is a target. Dr. Stephen Hamilton, an economist at the Crawford School at the Australian National University, began tracking this anomaly in early 2026, and what he found was not a black market. It was an architecture. As of April 2026, the estimated annual valuation of unauthorized baby formula exports has reached $5.2 billion. $5 billion for powdered milk. Retailers across the Five Eyes nations, the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, have already deployed smart shelf weight sensors and AI-linked surveillance cameras, programmed to detect what the industry now calls sweep patterns, the signature movement of a buyer clearing an entire shelf in under 90 seconds. Andrew Ferguson, chair of the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, as of April 2026, has watched this system expand from a retail nuisance into a supply chain emergency. The sensors are real. The cameras are live. The shelves still empty. This is not theft in the traditional sense. No glass broken, no alarm triggered. It is extraction by design. A reverse logistics engine that has turned the most regulated food product in the Western world into a product being flipped for a profit out of the hands of the parents it was manufactured for. Not a loophole, a system. Nobody named it. The protocol that industrialized this extraction, the one the forensic auditors now call the Sledgehammer, appeared in syndicate operations without a traceable origin point. It works like this. Custom automated programs are deployed to monitor the live inventory APIs of major retailers, the same data feeds that tell a store manager when a shelf needs restocking. The moment stock levels rise above a threshold, the system flags the location. This system has a nervous system, your supermarket's own data. The product does not move through a warehouse district or a bonded logistics facility. It moves through someone's living room. Shadow syndicates have built their distribution network out of private residential homes in ordinary suburban neighborhoods. What the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, CBP, seizure reports now formally classify as residential consolidation points. A spare bedroom in New Jersey. A garage in outer Melbourne. A semi-detached house in outer Birmingham. Each one functions as a micro-warehouse, receiving bulk formula deliveries from multiple buyers, repackaging the product, and staging it for export, all beneath the threshold that triggers customs scrutiny. No loading dock, no manifest, no flag. During peak cycles in 2026, networks operating on the U.S. East Coast alone averaged 18,500 units extracted per day. Per day. That is not opportunistic retail theft. That is a supply chain running in parallel to the one that was built to feed your child, operating at industrial volume, invisible to the regulatory architecture designed to stop it. The money does not move through a bank. Payments across these networks are increasingly settled in Tether, the dollar-pegged cryptocurrency, or routed through underground mirror accounting systems, parallel records that record obligations between syndicate nodes without ever touching a regulated financial institution. The Financial Action Task Force flagged this pattern in its most recent report. The flag changed nothing. The transfers continued. The record has no address. What no forensic audit has yet established is where the Sledgehammer Protocol originated. Who engineered it? Who deployed it first? And who controls its current iteration? What no seizure report has quantified is the exact volume of formula being handled, repackaged, or cut inside those residential consolidation points before it reaches the container. The mechanism is documented. The interior is not. In the neighborhoods, the extraction networks have designated as supply zones. The suburban retail corridors of the U.S. East Coast, Outer Melbourne, Greater Birmingham. The price of infant formula has risen 14% faster than the national average. Not because of a drought, not because of a factory recall, because a logistics algorithm decided your zip code was profitable. 1 in 5 parents in those targeted regions has already switched their infant to a different formula brand. Not by choice, not on medical advice, but because the brand their pediatrician recommended was gone. Gone. Formula is not interchangeable the way a breakfast cereal is interchangeable. A switch forced by an empty shelf is a medical event wearing the costume of a shopping inconvenience. The agency that should be stopping this has no legal mechanism to do so. As of 2026, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has no authority over these shadow resellers, and the FTC's power falls exactly between the legal lines of every agency. No single regulator owns this problem, so no one fixes it. Your child's formula sits in the gap between their laws. In 2026, the distance between what is manufactured and what reaches a domestic parent has become a $14 million daily drain. $14 million extracted every single day from the supply chain that was built to keep infants fed. The algorithm that was watching the shelf in Ohio this morning is still watching it now. That is not a prediction. That is the current state of the system. If this architecture concerns you, the mechanics of how essential supply gets extracted before it reaches the people it was made for. Leviathan Files documents the systems that move money, goods, and power away from the people they were built to serve. Subscribe. The records are open.